My exposure from the Rocky series was from this PS2 game called Rocky Legends, where it basically gave me the synopsis of all the films released at the time. The career mode allowed me to play as Rocky and his opponents from their respective movies, each of them having a non-canonical backstory. I really enjoyed playing as Drago. He gets some sort of initiation to become like the super soldier. Clubber Lang's story where he begins out of prison, and of course Apollo Creed where he fights Duke, and then later becomes his trainer. And finally, we got Rocky, the underdog. And yeah, this game's important to me because, like I said, it introduced me to the Rocky character. And then afterwards, I just binge watched all the movies. And I gotta say, these are, well, besides 5, all of these movies are just fantastic. The characters, the montages, everything. I love me a good underdog story. Not to mention when you boot up the game, you hear this amazing soundtrack, which is basically the training montage music from Rocky 4, but better. It is such an inspirational film. You know, the character as well as the actor try to create a legacy for themselves. It's a really heartwarming movie. Apollo Creed giving this nobody a shot at the title, giving him his spotlight, his chance to make a name for himself. And yeah, it is really inspiring. I would sometimes hope for the chance that a bigger YouTuber, you know, just notices me, maybe gives me a shout out. Yeah, like that would ever happen. This was easily my most anticipated film for this year. And did it knock it out of the park? I don't know, we'll see. And be warned, there will be spoilers. Alright, now let's talk about Creed 3. Adonis has finally made a name for himself. He created his own legacy, no longer living under his father's shadow, and is living a good retirement with his family. That is until his childhood friend shows up, Damien. And this guy is hungry. He wants a title shot, which was his dream before he got locked up for 18 years in the can, which I gotta say, they really make Damien sympathetic. And you really feel for Damien. You can understand where he's coming from, his perspective, you know, feels like he got cheated out of life. Now that he's out, he's, like I said, he's hungry. He wants to fight. He wants that title shot. And he figured he'd talk to his childhood friend about it, given that he has connections. He was the heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, and Adonis said, no, he can't do it. It's impossible, which leads Damien to believe that he didn't want to help him at all. So then he takes matters into his own hands, which creates a lot of tension between the two characters. And yeah, these characters were written extremely well. These felt like real people. And I really love the symbolism in this movie. The scene where Adonis goes to check up on Damien just to talk to him, basically tells him to do what he does, fight, put on a good show and all that. Then in an unbroken shot, Adonis leaves to the room on the other side where Damien is, and they both look at each other, even though there's a wall in the way. But the lighting on both sides being like two different colors as well, it just shows that they're two sides of the same coin, both the same friends long ago. And although they both made it this far in their lives, they both had different upbringings. And yeah, when they finally fight at the very end, it truly shows their pain and anger. And yeah, and of course the final fight was just beautifully shot. The slow motion and, you know, the whole cinematography in general is just amazing. There is a little sequence where it gets a little weird, a little wacky, but I liked it. You know, it was something unique, something new. It just shows these two characters who considered themselves as brothers before, just hashing out their pain and anger against each other, you know, the only way they know how. And the crowd, the cheering, the music, the entire stadium, the world itself just disappears. It's just them two fighting, grieving with their past. What was once an unbreakable friendship and nothing else, but them no longer letting the past hold them back and instead letting it all out of what was pent up, not consulting with each other, but instead letting their fists do the talking. So yeah, all of this bundled together makes this for a near perfect film. The only thing I didn't like is the training montage. It didn't really slap for me as the previous two films. They literally put the word Wakanda in one of the lyrics. I was like, wait, what? Which begs the question. No, but the whole experience itself, like me sitting in the theater with my brother, was just horrendous. Why? Because there was kids and teenagers who wouldn't shut up throughout the whole movie to the point where it got really toxic. And then I was like, man, are we going to have like a boxing ring in the theater? Are we gonna have like 2 for the price of 1 here? What's going on here? And the worst part is that they always talk whenever there's like a pivotal scene, a very emotional scene, especially towards the end. You get Adonis finally letting it all out after holding in all that frustration and anger and just everything about his past, not just refusing to talk about his feelings. He just feels guilty. He ran away from his best friend, which was a great scene. I'm mad that they ruined it for me because I get easily distracted by unnecessary noise, and I just hate that I missed a few lines of dialogue from that. So what did I do to vent my frustration? Well, me and my brother, we got the boxing gloves up and we just basically sparred. No joke, this is exactly what we did, you know. We were just, you know, after a good boxing movie, we're just like, alright man, just really makes me want to punch someone.
Like how Adonis said, you gotta think. Look for those openings.
Look guys, I was at a disadvantage. That dude was like a foot taller than me.